Here we go then, troops. Commander Field Army has put in changes to the soldier conditioning review following his findings that soldiers are not as fit as they should be, including that some of our soldiers are overweight and that we have lost some of our ability to carry weight over distance. Absolutely shocking that this is coming from the Commander Field Army, but we all know this is true, and some of us have been saying this for a very long time, that standards have dropped and they need to be increased again, that the fitness levels of the British Army are not where they should be. I'm Craig, a former British soldier, and today we're just going to go over what the Commander Field Army says and the current changes that are going to be made to the soldier conditioning review. So that's what he said. Not as fit as they should be. They're overweight and we can't carry weight over distance, which is absolutely shocking because it's one of the things the British Army were very good at and should be very good at. So we've got a few articles here. Once again, some of them you can't 100% trust, but this has come from a very good source that the Soldier Condition Review is changing and that these comments were made. But this one says the Army is going back to basics and approach to fitness tests in a desperate bid to find more troops to face down Vladimir Putin's forces. I don't think that's 100% the case. We just need a fitter army just in case anything does kick off. A woke fitness assessment introduced in 2019, which was mocked by many. It really was. It's a gender-free, basically in 2019, a gender-free new assessment come out. And it was a more scientific approach. And in my personal opinion, in a way, it was better than the old one. We used to do a mile and a half, best effort press-ups in 2 minutes, best effort sit-ups in 2 minutes. And then I did an annual fitness test as well, which was an 8-mile tab. Depending on whether you were paras, sort of airborne or not, would depend on what time you get. Majority of the Field Army needed 10.5 minutes on the mile and a half. Paras, airborne units needed 9.5. Pretty disgusting to run a mile and a half best effort, but a lot of fit lads, majority of people could pass it, and back in the day majority of people did. Press ups, sit ups. Okay, the new soldier condition review with the 2 kilometer run, the med ball throw, hex bar deadlift, the shuttles, and the broad jump. Much more scientific approach to test your endurance, speed, strength, lower body and upper body. And you also had pull-ups. But it wasn't a pass or fail. It was you sort of need to hit these scores, green or red. If you're in the red, you need to do better, ready for the RFTs, which is the role fitness test, which is a whole other test. And if you're in the green, you're totally fine. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on track to pass the role fitness test. The problem is people were doing the soldier conditioning reviews. The PTIs were taking the results and doing nothing with the results. Whether you got green or red, you weren't really told. No extra training was rarely done for any of them. You went on to the role fitness test and people still struggled with it. And also the result is you had to get were easier. You did the 2 kilometer run instead of a 2.4 kilometer run, but you got longer to run the 2 kilometer run than you did the 2.4 kilometer run, when obviously you should have got less time. So it's a lot of people like that annoyed a lot of people within the military, but he has had enough, so they are changing it. So it is going to. So you're still keeping the 2 kilometer run. It's a best effort, minimum time to be confirmed still. Pull-ups, best effort, minimum number to be confirmed. But apparently they could be doing the pull-up to some sort of beep test. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is a possibility. When the soldier condition review come out, there was no score. If you got 0, it was totally fine. That obviously needs to change. So hopefully they're going to put a decent number into there because everyone should be able to do pull-ups, upper body strength, getting yourself over a wall, etc. Deadlift. It used to just be hex bar deadlift to see how much you can sort of lift, and then your maximum number was done. Now it's going to be starting at a lighter weight. I believe you do 3 reps at a lighter weight, and you're going to continue doing 3 reps moving up until you can't lift anymore. Very similar to the Atlas stones. It may have been like that actually already, but I know the deadlift is staying in, which I think it should. The med ball throw is now going over to press ups. So they're no longer doing the med ball throw. It's going to be press ups, 60 seconds max effort, which is absolutely brilliant. Just throwing a 4 kilo med ball, how far you can throw it, doesn't really test your upper body strength and explosiveness, in my opinion. 60 seconds of press ups is much better. Minimum number to be confirmed. Hopefully it's going to be similar to the old PFT. Fingers crossed. And then the broad jump and the shuttle sprints are staying. But we've got it there from the Commander Field Army. We are not fit enough to go to war. Too many people are failing. Too many people are overweight, and I 100% agree. Like I said, I've been saying this for a very, very long time, and so many other soldiers have been as well. When I left the British Army, listen to this for a story. We went on a hill rep session. The PTI took us out. We did one hill rep. The majority of people were hanging out their arse. We mostly ran a mile from camp to the hill. That was it, at a very slow pace. It was quite hot, but not that hot. We did one hill rep. We ran up this hill one time and ran back down. He went, we're going to go back. People are struggling. That was the PT session, and we did a very slow jog back over this last mile back to camp. Absolutely shocking. That is the state of our armed forces in a minute, and hopefully it will change. And it's also down to the soldiers. The PTIs obviously need to do it. The chain of command need to do it. But you've got to do it yourself. When I was leaving the military, a lot of soldiers coming in just didn't have this mentality that they had to be fit for the job for some reason. I don't know why. When I joined, everyone pretty much wanted to be fit. The majority of people do. The majority of people now just bare minimum, don't really care about fitness, don't think it's important for the role, but it actually is. If you're going to go into combat, you need to be as fit as you possibly can. Moving from point A to point B, to do casualty evacuation, to carry the kit, move ammunition, water, fuel, whatever it is. You need to be fit as a soldier. And at the minute, I think the majority of the British Army are unfit and overweight. And it definitely needs to change, and hopefully the Commander of Field Army, with these new changes, this will happen, because if they do fail now on the soldier condition review, they will be given remedial PT every day. So on top of the PT they're going to have to do extra remedial PT until they get up to standard, which is how it should be. If you don't hit the minimum requirements, you should definitely be getting remedial PT. You really should. Absolutely shocking, the state of the British Armed Forces fitness, but hopefully it's going to change now. It would be really good to see if it is. But thank you for watching. Remember to head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk to check out our coffee, some of our t-shirts, support the channel by buying some mugs, our patches, and head over to Combat Fuel for some of the best supplements on the market, and use code CH15 for 15% off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.